I'm Steve Castillo. I'm a professor of kinesiology here at Mount San Antonio College. I've been training since the early 90s in the martial art of Eskrima, Arnis, Kali, indigenous martial arts of the Philippines. I've trained with several instructors here in the United States and in the Philippines. I teach one of, if not the only accredited Filipino martial arts class probably in California and probably the whole United States. My main goal is to give students a good foundation of Filipino martial arts, where after college, if they still want to pursue the Filipino martial arts, they wouldn't have a hard time integrating with another system or style that they may pick up here in the United States. I started training at the International Martial Arts and Boxing Academy in Torrance, California. At the time when I got out of the military, I was living in Oxnard, so I'd basically drive about an hour and a half twice a week just to train. There wasn't really any Filipino martial arts school per se in Oxnard for me to train at, so I wanted to train with a top-notch school, so I went to Torrance and trained. Their classes of Filipino martial arts was twice a week, but since I was driving that far, I took it upon myself to learn the other stuff they were offering, such as Jeet Kune Do, kickboxing, boxing, and jiu-jitsu. So those classes I have those disciplines I have background in as well. So I started training here at Mount Sac in '99. Originally, I had come and participate and work out with the instructor here, who was teaching self-defense, kickboxing at the time. But he got me into teaching the class, and I love to teach class. Started me teaching a couple of the classes, and then I was hooked. I was going to the nearby college, Cal Poly Pomona, for starting my engineering major, but quickly that changed to physical education. By going to take those classes, it gave me a better perspective on teaching and what it is I'm teaching and how to break down what I'm teaching, break down all these old methods of teaching that the Filipinos were teaching for a long time, and make it more effective and a better way to teach the students the principles of Filipino martial arts. Well, basically, in my classes, I teach a little bit of everything. I teach some double stick techniques, double stick drills, single stick drills, empty hand drills, and all the way to knife. You're actually training your hands, and you don't need to walk around with a stick in your hand to be able to defend yourself. Just because you don't have a stick in your hand doesn't mean you're defenseless. All those things that you learn with either a single or double stick in your hand translates equally to not having a weapon in your hand. So that's my main thing when I teach is I show a progression of with the weapon in your hand and without. That way you can easily apply it to everyday self-defense. Even though you do that, you still have to practice a lot of hours without having a weapon in your hand. But by knowing that, it makes the transition a lot easier to do that. My empty hands training stems from the double stick, and I also show empty hands with the single stick. Also show a lot of disarms and locks based on principles, not so much on techniques, because techniques is pretty much found from training with a specific instructor or a style. Because of my experience, I'm able to show a lot of different techniques from my experiences, not just from the system I train under, but and the body mechanics and the concepts and principles I teach allow the students to understand those techniques and recognize it when they go to another school or see another system or see another person perform. As compared to other martial arts, Filipino martial arts, I find is their big positive as compared to other systems is you're learning more than one thing at one time. A lot of other systems you learn the empty hands first, and then you learn the weapons after. But because of the history of the Philippines, they were the center of the Asian countries, and a lot of European countries and foreign countries wanted to occupy them, to have a nice stronghold in the center of Asia. Filipinos were forced to defend themselves all the time. Because of that, they would teach people how to use the weapons first, and so they could easily learn and defend their villages or country. And because of that, after time, they found the same movements of the weapons were easily translated to empty hands. So not only were you learning a weapon, you were learning empty hands at the same time. Because of this backwardness, it makes Filipino martial arts one of the more popular arts today, as opposed to like jiu-jitsu and kickboxing and MMA. I teach a lot of law enforcement, military people, or consult with them because they use this every day, because they get a lot of attacks with people with weapons. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a stick or a knife. It can be any blunt or edged weapons that they get attacked with, and it's totally applicable in real life situations. And I get students from all ethnicities, not just Filipinos. In fact, majority, probably about 75% of my students are non-Filipino, Hispanic, Caucasian, and other descent. All I worry about is teaching and giving good quality education to the students in Filipino martial arts. I don't have to hold back on teaching techniques to the students, because I'm worried that they might leave and I won't have anything for them the next semester for them to come back. Just worry about them enjoying the techniques. The techniques I teach vary from semester to semester, and I'm not really bound to any structure that a regular school might have, and the students can enjoy the lesson and enjoy the experience of training in the Filipino martial arts. And that's the beauty of me teaching in a college. Filipino martial arts in itself is very interesting. I just don't teach the physical techniques. I teach the history and background, where certain moves come from and why we do certain things in our culture. In the past, I've taken students to the Philippines with me to enjoy the culture. We do demos, and we do a lot of Filipino festivals. And I not only teach the art, I teach the Filipino culture as well through the art.